for the stream. Okay. Right. Here we go on the third attempt at stream of a Mario Popuri run. I did actually finish the first run. It just didn't. It just missed PBing by 4 seconds though. And considering I did things, so what I was doing last run, I obviously also did in the first run, and what I'm going to do in this run. But none of that, so things like, so I grew, so in these runs that I've been doing today, I've been growing turnips in order to be able to get the rucksack upgrade faster, and be able to begin the exploit faster. Like, get onto the exploit faster. Which I didn't do in my PB, which is why everything looks all over the place. It's why it's, you know, I lose a bit of time in purple and blue hearts, because I've been focusing on other things that I wasn't doing in those splits. But it's also then why on green, yellow and orange heart and maybe or maybe not proposal, those splits will be really quick, hopefully. In fact, if this run dies, I'll still probably end up doing another run after. But what I'll do is I'll do an actual little bit of thinking and a bit of routing to try and get a good run. Because I'm thinking maybe I don't need to spend, like, I can just I'm thinking maybe it's not worth trying to befriend Popuri this early on. Like, literally just wait until you have the rucksack upgrades, maybe, so that you can give her maximum affection, like maximum affection per day, instead of you know, instead of spending exactly the same amount of time to only do like a fraction of the amount. The problem is with Popuri is spring is just really, like, inefficient, I guess is the best way to put it. In fact, I'm tempted to try that out this run. So to just not befriend her either at all during spring, or you know what? Fuck it. Let's YOLO this, and I'm gonna, in spring, all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna forage items. I'm not gonna befriend Popuri at all, and I'm not gonna start trying to befriend Popuri until summer. I'm still gonna do things like the exploit and like grow turnips and shit like that. But I'm not going to befriend Popuri, except for like maybe days where I have to wait until a certain point in the day. I'm not going to befriend Popuri until summer, and we'll see how well this does. You know, maybe it will be low. You know, maybe I'll save loads of time. Maybe it will be so really fucking dumb and it won't work at all. But you know what? Who cares? We'll just have a bit of fun. Exactly. Hashtag YOLO run. It's gonna be something. It'll either be a complete failure, or it'll be a complete success. Who knows? So actually, similar to most runs though, I am going to skip these first 2 days, because even if I wasn't doing this YOLO no befriending Popuri in spring, I skip these first 2 days because the first day the first day you go out, you have like Thomas talks to you, and he asks to show you around the town, but you can decline that, thankfully. But then But then you also have to talk to Zach, who talks to you about shipping your items. And then the next day, you get a visit from Harris, who tells you one is about and he's been a bit dodgy. So if you skip those first 2 days, then you don't have to deal with any of that, which is really good. Saves like a couple minutes maybe. And I don't actually know whether I want to go up to Mother's Hill to collect some items to give to Popuri, because I am going to make it past 10 o'clock. This is the one thing, I'm doing things so differently. They're going to be, at some point, so different, I'm not really going to know how to react to them, I guess. Like, I'm going to have to think a lot further in advance than I usually would. So, for example, I'm pretty sure if you wait a certain amount of time, then you can't actually get the introduction event, or the introduction heart event with people. Like, you just can't get it, because that's, because in like my first few 98% runs where I had to befriend Ellie and Mary, I wasn't able to get them, and I'm assuming I wasn't able to get them because of how long I waited. I'm going to try going now. Because it's raining, I'm kind of assuming Karen's already in the shop, so I may get this cutscene like a lot earlier than, like, I just might get this cutscene despite being earlier than when she would have gone in the shop on a non-rainy day, but okay, no, that's fine. What I should have actually done, I should have waited until tomorrow, because then tomorrow I could have bought all my seeds and just done one trip. Actually, no, I wouldn't have been able to do it tomorrow. I would have had to wait a couple of days. That's fine either way. But yeah, so I still have to kind of at some point kind of go, oh wait, at some point I need to get to the introduction event with Popuri. And get some of the other heart events. But in case of this attempt, rain will save quite a bit of time. So usually, I say at the beginning of this type of thing, rain may or may not save time. You know, I'm not 100% certain, because on one hand, you don't have to water your crops, but you have to wait for 10 o'clock to befriend Popuri. But obviously, if I'm not really befriending her in spring, it's just a free day where I don't have to water my crops. So, nice time saves. Okay. I was expecting to get the cutscene with one there. But no, apparently not. That's fine. I'll take that either way. But just because it was raining doesn't mean I shouldn't have gone out. What I should have done was then... I still should have foraged the items. That's fine, hopefully that doesn't punish me too much. So I think what the perfect day to get the exchange on would be a Wednesday. Well, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday those would be the perfect days. And the reason for that is this: Saturday and Sunday, GOTS is closed, or it's just not about, or whatever. Monday, the Barley's Ranch is closed, so you can't sell any of your cows. Tuesday, this will only be for like the first exchange, the first 2 exchanges, but Tuesday the shop is closed, so you can't buy the rucksack upgrades. And then, yeah, that's it. So Saturday, Sunday, GOTS is closed, Monday Barley's closed, and then Tuesday the supermarket's closed. So I don't know what the earliest I could get is and still be good, because I think at some point I would just have to go, you know, I think it may be better to try and do it on like a weekend and just have to go, okay, I can't I can't hire GOTS to upgrade to get an extension or anything. I'll just have to get that at a later point, instead of fuck, I kind of forgot what was lost my train of thought. And so just not hire like the carpenter for that day and have to and just do it later at a later point. Then moving it back a couple days. But because I'm waiting until summer to befriend her, maybe it won't matter as much. I think in that case it would basically just be as long as I got the cutscene, it's not the cutscene, as long as I got both the rucksack upgrades before summer, and if I just make it so that I try and do every time I get a rucksack upgrade, so I'm going to try and get the first heart event here, so I'm going to try and befriend her a little bit, just to kind of pass the time. But yeah, so I think I can like take that like couple day loss of, so assume like the earliest I can get it is a Saturday or something. I think I can take that loss where I just wait a few days until Wednesday, so I can do everything in one day. I don't really think that would end up being a loss. So yes, this will be one of the problems, well, maybe not problems, but I guess if you like my type of commentary, you're going to be hearing a lot of this run, because I'm going to have to be doing a lot of on-the-fly thinking, which is fine, because it's one of the reasons why I enjoy Harvest Moon runs as a whole, because they do require, or some of them require, just on-the-spot thinking. This is requiring on-the-spot thinking, though, because I'm being a pleb and just going, you know what, I can't be bothered to do the run the proper way, let's just do it a stupid way and see if it works. Which if you ever want to root a game to speedrun, I will tell you, this isn't the way to do it. Don't just try and like go, oh, you know what, I'll just do a run and it'll be fine. Don't do that. This is like one of the only times I've actually done this. Most of the time I do a lot of rooting for these type of runs. Well, not these type of runs, but I do a lot of rooting for a lot of runs. So all you rookie speedrunners out there, don't be me. That's your little bit of advice for the day. No, I need to wait until 11. Okay. Yeah, I mean, there's a chance that this run goes really well, you know? It's just, I think for it to go well, or specifically really, really well, it would have helped if I did a lot of thinking about it beforehand, and not just during the intro. I went, oh, you know what, fuck it, let's do this really stupidly. Let's see if it works. But hey, at the end of the day, it's all about having fun. And hopefully, that's what's going to happen. We're going to have a bit of fun. No, at the end of the day, it is all about world records. If I don't have world record, what am I? But the joke's on you, I already have world records. It's about fun through world records, clearly. Okay, so tomorrow I'll go buy some more seeds. Should have bought them yesterday. That would have been the clever thing to do. I'm pretty sure that's what I actually do in my 98% run. Or I do something similar at some point. Because I do something similar to that because the day the turnips are harvested is a day where is the day where I don't see Popuri or no, it's the day where the shop is closed, so I can't go and buy more seeds, so I have to go the day before. That's fine though. Yeah, sure. I'm gonna also forage those few items that I usually do as well. No, I don't know. Maybe it's. I guess it wouldn't make a difference because I kind of just need to. Because if I'm not befriending her at all during summer, then I guess it doesn't really matter when I get the money or when I begin anything. It just as long as as long as I've done it before the thing, as long as I've got the upgrades before thing. So actually what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do something a bit bizarre. I'm going to water the seeds before I've planted them. So this is basically a way of, I'm going to pass the time whilst waiting for the shop to open. And so the reason why this works is because when I plant the seeds, they will then they'll already be watered. It's interesting because you'd think it would make more sense, or it would be a lot better if it worked the opposite way. You know, I plant seeds over water, and it doesn't count as them watered. I have to re-water them. But that's the way it worked in the Super Nintendo game, and it fucking sucks. Not because of that, but that's a big. Well, the Super Nintendo game sucks, but that aspect of it is really dumb because it's really just broken essentially. Because the way it works in Super Nintendo, and the way it would work most likely, is if it's raining and then So it's like if it's raining and you plant a crop, that crop, you then have to re-water that crop, which doesn't make any sense. If you've got a regrowable crop harvested, and either if you water it before you harvest it, or if it's raining and you harvest it, you then have to re-water it. So it would make more sense if you did have to re-water things like that, but it's kind of like the way they executed it in Super Nintendo kind of sucked, so I just don't... So unless they've done it kind of like however they've started doing it in... If they've kind of done it similar but not really in the more recent Harvest Moon games, then... I don't know. But they didn't do it again in like any of these era games because it was dumb. No. Okay. Accidentally like selecting something else in the shop costs time that's like just it's just annoying. Like, because it doesn't, you know, it costs a few seconds, but you feel those few seconds. It's not very pleasant. I just wanted it's a dumb time mistake essentially. Yeah, so I don't have to water these crops again. Easy. I wonder if it would just be better to like just I guess wait, like just kind of wait for rain. So just go through, so with this type of thing, just go through the whole of spring, and if they haven't, actually no, because then you wouldn't get the, you'd have to know exactly like when your latest point to do it was. So you could kind of do that, but obviously one, you'd have to get lucky for it to be worth it. But to like, the kind of backup, I guess, you'd have to know, like when the latest you had to have them by is, and surprise surprise, on a run that I'm just kind of YOLOing, I don't know that exact date. Well, I mean, it would be a week, it would be a little bit before a week, so like, let's say maximum 2 weeks before her birthday. So 20th, I think. You'd have to have them shipped by the 20th, let's say. Don't know how accurate that is, but... So because if you'd have to have them shipped by the 20th, that means if they haven't, like, let's say if you haven't had any rainy days at all whilst they've been growing, you'd have to start watering them on the 16th. Maybe I will go for that then, because I just worked it out for myself, so possibly. Well, I've already watered them twice though, so actually I could leave it until the 18th. Like, before I'd have to water them manually. Yeah. I'm gonna try and take this time save. So I'm still gonna ship a few items. I'm gonna ship until I have 4,000, let's say. Because with the with the turnips you make just under 2,000, it's like 1,900 something. And you want a little bit over 6,000. So like you want around 6,400. I think 6,280 would be the absolute minimum, I believe. Because I'm pretty sure it's 14 days you have to raise your cow for, so the minimum amount of fodder you would need is 14. Because 14 fodder costs 20G each, it would be 280. So yeah, so or to save time at least, there's still, if you don't get that much, there's still, you could take the time loss and raise the cow on the other file. But as I said, that kind of costs a bit of time. Okay, rainy day, that's good. So I need one more rainy day, I believe. Okay, that's really good. So they should be harvestable tomorrow. Which they are, that's pretty good. So I'm gonna wait, so on Tuesday I'm gonna save, and then that's when I'm gonna begin my second file, and that's when I'm gonna do that's when I'll begin the animal exchange exploit on this Wednesday, or so that I come back to it on the Wednesday, so this file starts on the Wednesday. I just check that I have got enough. No, okay, I haven't. For some reason, I think what was going through my head was like, I've got, was that it was going to be just under 3,000, not under 2,000. But I think it may only, but actually that's kind of the good thing with it with the good days to do the exchange on being Wednesday, Thursday and Friday is if I don't have enough money on the Wednesday, you know, maybe I'll have enough on the Friday or the Thursday or on the Friday. I mean, I think I should have, because it's 250 each day. Yeah, I think I should have enough by the Wednesday, but if I don't, that's hardly a problem. Okay, so one more day. That should be fine. Actually, one more day will be exactly enough, I believe, because from the spring foraging items you get 250, and as I was saying earlier, 6,280 was, I believe, the pure minimum. It's a bit risky because it means if I accidentally destroy any fodder at some point, then my cow. Actually, then yeah, if I destroy any fodder at some point, then either my cow has to go hungry for a day, or I have to lose a few minutes and go back to the farm shop. So I think I might just do an extra day and do it on the Thursday instead. Just so I can be on the safe side. Oh shit. I didn't even do the maths correctly because I have an extra 100G. That's definitely fine then. Okay. Right, so it's time to begin the exploit. So I'll just check I still have. Yeah. So, this will be the third time I've explained it during stream, so I guess I'll just cut this version short, and if anyone has any questions, they can just ask me. I can trade animals between two files. They have to be actual two files, so I can't just make a copy of one file and trade between those. And basically this allows me to get 10 animals on my main file, which I can then sell for 3000 G each. If you really, really, really want to know more, then ask any questions you may have. Like, I don't mind explaining it for people who haven't heard it, but I do also kind of understand that some people will have been here since the beginning of the stream. They probably, this may be the third time they've heard it, and it doesn't exactly get any more interesting, the third time you hear it, or the second, or any, the bajillionth. So if anyone is confused about the whole thing, you have the entirety of the intro to ask any questions. You also have a little bit longer than the intro, because boring stuff happens after the intro as well. But hopefully I've explained it enough now that regulars, people who just have me on in the background or whatever, will know what the fuck I'm on about. Maybe even new people will understand what I'm on about. Who knows? So in regards to the story, apparently this girl here is supposed to be Popuri. I don't know how believable that is, but because the whole thing is she's supposed to be whoever you married, or whoever you married is supposed to be this girl, who this girl is, and it's never revealed that until the end of the evaluation, where whoever your wife is comes up and says, "Hey, do you remember all those years ago?" I don't actually know what happens, like, if you don't get married and you have the evaluation, because you can still get, like, the good evaluation and not be married. So I wonder if then, you know, you just don't find out, I guess, or what. Who knows? Okay, so the intro is over for the second time. So now I can just save this file and go immediately back to my other file. So the reason why, well, funnily enough, I guess this explanation isn't really necessary this time around, because usually I'd say the reason why I'm not befriending Popuri at this point is because anything I do now is going to get undone, because I'm not going to save. But I'm also not actually befriending Popuri at the moment anyway, so it doesn't matter. Okay, so I'm gonna buy a cow, and then I'm gonna raise that cow, because the cow you buy straight away isn't old enough to be sold, so you do have to wait a little while. I believe it's 14 or 15 days. So here's my cow A when it's all normal and not hasn't been cloned. So for the next 2 weeks we're just gonna feed it a bit. Part of me has just thought maybe I might actually want to take the 6000 G loss and just kind of continue from here, because like I'd have to go back to a certain point, but it might be worth noting for like a future run if this style run is successful. Because this would just be like, I'd have to sleep through spring anyway. So I don't know, maybe there'd be like a certain point where I don't know, so I was just kind of thinking about it, but now I'm kind of struggling to like explain what I was thinking. So how like so I don't know, because you'd want the rucksack by like before summer essentially, so maybe it wouldn't work because you'd still have this cow here, but I don't know, maybe you'd be able to get rid of it. Like, I wouldn't be able to do it in this run, I don't think. But even then, because I think at the end of it you'd have to go back to a certain point, it might not be worth it in the end. Like, it might not be worth just saving like a couple of days or something. I don't know. That probably like didn't make any sense. That was probably just random. You know, just jabbering. But I guess that's what was kind of going on in my head. My head was thinking like, hey, what about this? And then as soon as I like decided, hey, I might actually like talk about that on stream and elaborate my thought process, I like immediately thought as to why it wouldn't work. So then I kind of had to explain what I was thinking and then why it wouldn't work. But anyway, luckily this section of nothingness is almost over. This is like one of the bits where it's a bit difficult to commentate over because nothing happens, nothing different happens, it's just the same thing over and over again. Very similar to most Harvest Moon runs, but usually there is something happening, there's something slightly different happening that I can talk about during the rest of the runs, but not really here. Hey, so the cow is finally a big cow. So I'm going to trade it over to my second file, and then this is when the first exchange truly begins. So the first exchange takes a little bit longer than most of the other exchanges, just because I kind of want to set it up so that my second file has 5 cows on it, which is, so the maximum animals you can send over at a time is 5, which is why I want 5 cows on one file. Makes sense. So on this first exchange I just kind of go a little bit back and forth, so that not only do I end up having 5 cows on this file, I also end up getting 10 cows on my main file, which is which is the number of cows I want to fill the barn with on the main file. Let's check how many I've got. I've got 3, okay. I believe I've got 2 on my other file. Yeah. So now I have 5 cows on this file, but I only have 2 on the other. Maybe I have 3, I don't know. Yeah, I think it's 3. So I'll send over 5, and then I'll just have to reload this file and send over 2. And then that will actually be the first exchange done. There we go. So only about 50 minutes in, and we've done the first exchange. So yeah, so now is actually a good time, when like a small time period where I can befriend Popuri, because I kind of want to pass time. So what I'm wanting to do today is I'll give Popuri a few items, and then I'll go to the supermarket to buy the rucksack upgrade, because the money I spent on the cow and the fodder a few, like, however long ago that was, because I didn't save, I've got all that money back. So I still have 6,000, a little over 6,000 G. So I can spend that on a rucksack without having to sell any of the cows first. Because of that, I'll probably end up... I think if I were to go straight to the supermarket, I would be able to get to the farm shop without activating the horse cutscene, which obviously would be nice. But oh well. Also, if anyone, so people who were here for the last one, I'm going to try and take a little bit of a different path. Instead of going through the church, I'm going to pass the inn this time, just to see if that, to try and avoid activating that little heart event I did, or the rival heart event I did with Rick and Karen, because obviously that's a bit slow. So I definitely haven't so yeah, so I definitely wouldn't have unlocked activated the cutscene there, because that Karen's first heart event activates at around like 10:30, I believe. Okay, that's okay. So apparently 9 o'clock is still... I imagine that like 9 o'clock is the cutoff. Yeah, which means basically there's no like... The only way to avoid getting this is to not go to the supermarket on the same day. So I'm not going to say to just, because hopefully it like, slows it all down. Not slows it all down, it, hopefully it's a bit quicker, I guess. So now I get to sell all those 10 cows that I have now. And each cow sells for 3,000 G each, which means at the end of the day I'll have a little over 30,000 G. And in fact, I think I might do another exchange tomorrow. I'll do another exchange tomorrow in which... No, actually, no, there's... Okay, I was thinking about doing another exchange tomorrow. But because I'm going to order the chicken coop today, there's no real point. Ah, fuck. Okay, that's stupid of me. Yeah, but because I'm going to order the chicken coop today, it'll be basically the next time I'll be able to do an exchange will be on Wednesday. And honestly, I probably won't even end up buying the rucksack, the next rucksack upgrade until summer 2. Because it'll take a little over a week for it to get there. And I think Wednesday, the next Wednesday after a week. So not obviously the next Wednesday, but the first Wednesday after a week's time will be, I think, yeah, that'll be after Popuri's birthday. So I'll probably end up buying the rucksack on summer too, which is fine. Right, that's all the first lot of 10 cows sold. 30,000 G in the bank. So now we're going to go to Gots and order the chicken coop. Although we're also going to buy some wood off him first. Okay, so I'm definitely going to skip ahead a week. Yeah, I'm not 100% certain when I want to do the next exchange. Because I do kind of have to do it at a time when, or to be like efficient, I have to do it at a time when I can buy the rucksack. If I look back at that. Okay, the second should be fine then. So yeah, so I can do the next exchange on summer 2nd. And I'm pretty sure that should all be good. Because I should be able to buy the rucksack by then. It's the day before her birthday, so I'll be able to give her the decent amount of items for her birthday. And yeah, because it's Wednesday, nobody's closed. So this is what a regular exchange looks like, if I can actually line up with my diary. So it's just loading into my second file, sending over 5 cows, and then doing that again. Nope, I just loaded into my main file. Not what I wanted to do. And then back to the main file I go. So because it's summer, I can now give Popuri a lot of items that she loves. So in spring, she loves moondrop flowers, but only 2 of them grow during spring. And she only likes toy flowers where a lot more grow. However, in summer, only pink cat flowers grow, and she loves them. So this is kind of the base of the idea for this, for these YOLO strats, is that I'm able to get a lot more affection with her in summer than I am in spring. I don't think it's looking too bad. I mean, this is like, I think we're at the part now where we'll actually determine whether or not it's gonna pay off. So I'm finally at a purple heart. Welcome back, Desert Penguin. So I'll have to explain all of this for you because you've been going for this run. So the last run died just because I was having some stream connection issues and I didn't want to continue it. And during the intro of this run, I kind of decided to YOLO some new strats. And the new strats is basically, I probably only gave Popuri a few items like a couple days during spring, like a few days where I had to spend time. So I'm kind of focusing on befriending her during summer. So unfortunately, so that's why the purple heart split is an hour long. Like, I don't actually want to compare it, like check what the comparison is, because I imagine it's gonna look very bad. But it's because I'm doing very, very, very different strats this run. And here's the thing, I don't know whether or not they'll actually be worth it. I don't know whether or not they will or won't save time. But actually, okay, so because Popuri's on a purple heart, and purple heart is 5,000 affection. Tomorrow's her birthday, which will get her 25,000 affection. That means at the end of her birthday, she'll be on 30,000 affection, which would be a green heart. And from then, I'll have the big rucksack, the maximum rucksack, so I'll be able to give her 8 or 9 pink cat flower. Like, actually no, because of the extra ones on outside the carpenters, I'll be able to give her 11 pink cat flowers a day. So that's 3,000 from the extra one, so 3,500 plus the 200. From so 3,000. So yeah. So every day after her birthday, I'm gonna be able to erase her affection by 3,700. Which means she should go up a heart every 3 days. So yeah, so I guess we'll see how it all goes. So I guess the main, like, the big way this run is different in kind of a general term is it kind of focuses on a lot of setup at the beginning, but then So if you imagine, instead of having just the intro and purple heart split, if I then had an extra split in between for like animal exchange. Okay, unfortunately I got the little bit longer cutscene here, but that's fine. So this is what it looks like if you don't exit, if you don't get this cutscene exiting the poultry farm. But yeah, so it's kind of like, if you imagine I had a split between intro and purple heart, it's kind of like, so the whole focus of the run is like having this big setup, but then all the next splits, so all of the different heart splits don't take too long, instead of the type of thing that I was doing in my PB, where I just kind of set up over the first few splits, and then like a couple of them don't take too long. So I don't know whether this is the right time to get the house extension, but we'll see. Actually, sure, I'll go for this. I'll get a couple of these pink cat flowers from yesterday, or from today, and I'll have them tomorrow, so that'll be an extra 3,000 affection. Not massive, I know, but that's still... That'll be just as, like, that small bit then, and it'll be like maybe one extra trip to the shop. To the supermarket. Yeah, that's just under the same amount as like what other summer days are going to be like. Although I'm thinking I may not actually have to do another visit. I think instead, because the last run, well not the last run, but the first run I did today, because there's 16 pink cat flowers spread over the world, spread over the map, and instead of doing, and in my first run I did a 9 and a 7, which means the menuing is a bit more finicky and isn't as smooth as it could be if you just did an 8 and an 8. But I can actually do a 9 and a 9, so I can do it in 2 trips still. It just means menuing will take a little bit longer. And I think there is the chance I'll end up getting the Karen Hart event. I hope that's a good holy shit turtle wins. Also, hi, how's it going? Because yeah, I'm glad that talking about it on my last stream inspired someone to go out and get it. I definitely hope it was a good holy shit. That's good, okay. Because yeah, it is a very good game. If you weren't here for my last stream, there was a brief part where we ended up talking a bit about a new release called Ever Oasis. And it is an amazing game, like seriously, it's easily probably one of my favourite game from this year, and considering Breath of the Wild came out this year, and I did enjoy Breath of the Wild a lot, that's saying something. So if whatever I said on my last stream didn't convince you to go get it, it's a good game. Damn, already on the 3rd major done, that's way quicker than I did it. Like I've I've gotten a bit past this dungeon, so it's just like I'm assuming we'll be trying to avoid story spoilers. But if we continue talking, we might talk a bit about it. But yeah, I'm after I'm like in the definitely the late game, like after that dungeon. I guess I can't say for certain, but I feel like I'm setting up for the final dungeon, like what's going to be the final dungeon and then the final boss. But like, yeah, it's a really good game. Like, even at this point, I'm really enjoying it still. So briefly back to Harvest Moon. Yeah, so we've got 9 presents, and we're going to give them to Popuri, and they're going to be worth a lot of affection. Okay. So if you look at my best split there, Blue Heart usually takes around an hour, whereas now it's only took me 10 minutes. So I'm really so tempted to compare my splits now, because I think I might be ahead. Because that split only took me 10 minutes. My Purple Heart split didn't take me an hour, and neither did my intro, so I think, like, I don't know, I feel like I should definitely be ahead. I'm gonna take the risk and check. Okay, yeah, there you go, that's what it looks like. 43 minutes behind in my first split, but then 8 minutes saved. Oh well, 52 minutes gold, and then 8 minutes ahead. But I think I will go back to not comparing. I mean, when you phrase it like that, giving a girl 9 identically wrapped flowers on her birthday, sounds weird. But if you say if you say 9 flowers in a bouquet, it sounds a little bit more normal. No, every marriage candidate is different. So, it's different enough to warrant a different category. It kind of varies from game to game. So games like Super Nintendo, or I guess something like Magical Melody, so Super Nintendo, the candidates don't differ that much at all. Like, there'd be a few minutes between each different candidate, so there's no point having a separate category for each of them. In Magical Melody, there are way too many candidates to like have a category for each of them. Like, people can run those categories, like different categories, if they want to, but also because in Magical Melody you'd have to focus on other things as well, it wouldn't be the interesting thing, I guess. You know, it'd feel a bit stupid. But in some of them, like this one, 64 Wonderful Life, the marriage candidates are different enough, and the route for them is varied enough to warrant a different category for them, instead of just lumping them under marriage. Because originally, actually, 64 was just a marriage category. It was just yeah, it was just marriage, and then, but I think it wasn't until Demo started doing runs for different girls that we added one for each of them. So at the end of the day, she should be on a green heart, I believe. Yep, so there's the green heart. So now actually the best for this is going to be really inaccurate, because I'm probably not going to get her to a yellow heart anytime soonish. Well, maybe not anytime soonish, but not within a minute. Hello, goodbye. So I'm learning from my mistakes last run. There is no reason for me to do this event. Yes, like you could think of it as a free 3000 affection, but it costs time. Well, it costs time to like forget to look after the chicken. So maybe it's worth it if I don't suck at the game, but I don't think I'm at that point yet. I mean, you say stuffing her full of flowers, like I make her eat them or something. Like, no, she's just constantly looking for vases. I mean, to be fair, it's her fault anyway. She really likes these flowers. If she didn't want the flowers, she'd just stop. She'd just be like, no, no more flowers. But yeah, so it's like you know, the shelves you get when you upgrade your house for the first time. She has that, but they're just all full of the gifts that you've given her. Okay, so I think the next exchange I can do on Tuesday. Yeah, the next exchange I should be able to do on the Tuesday, because I don't actually need to go to the supermarket anymore outside of the flower. The blue feather, that's what it's called. So yeah. It doesn't look like she's got any flowers in her house. None of my flowers, at least. Maybe she's got some upstairs, I don't know. There you go. It took 3 minutes longer than my goal, in which I would have done this on her birthday. But I've already got Popuri onto a yellow heart. I mean, I could buy it from one. Maybe I probably wouldn't have the money to buy it from one, but you know, I could. If I wanted to do some shady business, would that be better? If I went here, I'm proposing to you with this feather I got from a very obviously shady door-to-door salesman, because that's so romantic. I just kind of wish they did what they did in 64, where Rick gives you like a really pointless discount on it. Well, it's not technically Rick because Rick doesn't own the shop in this game, but where you get the ridiculously pointless discount in this. So like in 64, there isn't actually like a single supermarket. It's there's the bakery, the seed shop, and the tool shop. So you buy the flour from the feather from the tool shop. But Rick goes, whoa, if you're buying that, you've got plans, so let me give you 20G off. It was like, whoa, calm down there, Rick. That's going crazy. Does Popuri like weeds? I don't think she does. I can't comment on the Kai thing because I have no idea whether or not he is or isn't an asshole. Oh, okay. Yeah, they all marry different people in 64, and I don't know those ones off the top. I know Mary goes for Harris. That's as much as I remember. Like, from the rival marriages from 64. Okay, no orange heart just yet, but that means I'll probably end up getting it either tomorrow or the next day. It's completely fine. Okay, that's fine. Okay. So it's interesting that they kept Anne and Cliff the same then, because I believe, yeah, they're rival couples in back to nature. Because in the ending sequence, Anne talks about how she wrote to Cliff. Actually, okay, so if we're on the topic of rival marriage, I have a really funny story to tell from the first time I played Tree of Tranquility. So the first time I casually played through, like, completed through Tree of Tranquility, I was doing a very loose test run of the route I had. But I wasn't just like doing it completely like a speedrun. I was doing a few things which you wouldn't normally do in a casual run. In a run, I was playing a bit more casual. So I was doing things like going to the festivals and actually engaging in heart events. And it was kind of bizarre because, so my favourite bachelorette from True Tranquility and Animal Parade is It's Sunday, she's not here today. Whoops. Is Kathy. Because, you know, that's that. But basically, over the period of my playthrough, I ended up befriending Maya, like, a lot, because the way you get affection in that game, because for any percent, you're required to have 50 total hearts with, like, at least 50 hearts with any combination of the villagers. So the way you do it is you just work part-time at the inn and the bar, which coincidentally ends up befriending people like Kathy, Maya, and Chase. So I was a lot more friends. I had higher hearts with Maya than I had with Kathy, and I had done a lot more of her heart events. And I was just kind of like, you know what? Even though my first choice would have been Kathy, I'm kind of, I was thinking, you know what? It feels a bit weird to just like not go for Maya now, considering I've essentially been befriending her throughout the entire playthrough. Then, whilst I was completing her friendship request, I accidentally, so the one where you have to give her the eel or whatever, I accidentally ended up activating all of her rival heart events. So without me realizing this, so I'm giving her the blue feather, and she's going, "Oh wow, you must be planning on proposing to someone." And I'm like, "Why won't you accept my blue feather? I've met all the requirements." And then like a few days later, she comes up to me and she goes, "Oh, by the way, me and Chase are getting married." And I'm like, "Are you kidding me?" So in the end, me and Kathy got happily married, because fuck Maya. I mean, in the end, I ended up marrying who I originally wanted to go for in the who I would have wanted to go through in a casual playthrough, so I'm not too bothered by it. But I just think it's funny, basically. It's very funny to me. Luckily, there's no chance of that happening in Animal Parade, because you only have to get people up to 3 hearts in that. Really? You can only have... In, like, which one specifically? Can you only activate one rival event a year? Ah, what am I doing? I'm going here and I don't even need to, because 1, it's closed, 2, I don't need to buy anything. I can buy the... whatchamacallit, the blue... well, the blue feather probably isn't even selling yet. Okay, that was a really stupid detour, but whatever. Okay. I mean, if you don't want, like, if you want to avoid rival marriages in something like DS, you just go for the special bachelorettes. Unless you're playing on the North American copy and you can't marry Witch Princess, which sucks. But not for me, because I don't play on the North American version, so I don't care. However, I also can't do the milk glitch in the run, so I'd have to buy. So there's lots of stupid things with the differences between the DS versions. Okay, well, thanks for watching Night Song, and thanks for good luck. It says hospital in Prince of Minotaur. I never noticed that. Okay, I knew you couldn't get Witch Princess in the North American version, but I could never remember why. So it's because it doesn't keep track of how many animals have died, so which activates one of her heart events. Okay. Yeah, this is like the special candidates in DS are just all over the place in bizarreness. Because obviously, Witch Princess you can't marry on the North American copy. There are things like with, I believe it's Leia, the mermaid that you rescue from the crazy scientist guy. I can't remember his name currently. Like if there's a storm while you're married to her, she basically just never, she like disappears or something weird like that. There's the girl who sleeps at the bottom of the mine and is like an absolute pain to marry because you have to go to the bottom of the mine every time you want to give her gifts. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna not go to Mother Hill today. No, okay, I need to go to Cliff. Not Cliff. Gets. I mean, I think it was nice and cool that there's all these different special candidates, but they all seem like varying degrees of just suck. Okay, good, that's enough. Who's the special candidate in the girl version? I know, yeah, I know all the special candidates in Friends of Mineral Town, because there's Kappa, 1, Gourmet, maybe other people, I don't know. but I don't know any of the other of like. I don't know if there are special other like in DS Cute if there are additional like whether they kept those ones as well or whether they added other special candidates for girls. Okay, the name Sky rings a bell, but I wouldn't have remembered he was a thief if you hadn't told me. Well, I don't even remember reading he was a thief, but okay. All I remember is that there was a bachelor called Sky. Okay. I guess that's kind of their version of allowing you to marry, like, so like how in the regular version you could marry the witch princess because she was kind of like bad, so you could marry like a bad a bachelor in the girl version. Okay, so I finally got Popuri on an orange heart. It took a little bit longer than any of the others. Yeah, I knew that you could marry the Friends of Mineral Town candidates. But I couldn't remember whether it was either they just don't move in with you or you move to Mineral Town and the game ends. So with Kai, does he just move in with you, or does he not move in with you and the game doesn't end? Okay. Yeah, I always thought that was a bit weird with Jamie, how if you marry Jamie then that ends the game. It's a bit bizarre. I missed this split by quite a bit. Yeah, I guess I will just skip that split. Hey, it's just like my first run, my first PB. Which, funny enough, this will probably be PB because I'm already on the proposal split. And I'm very far ahead. I don't know exactly how far ahead I am. So, okay. I'm kind of hoping my barn is done Friday. Or that, yeah, I think it will be done on Friday. So yeah, I'm kind of hoping it's on Friday so that I can, what am I trying to say? So I can do the final exchange then, the big exchange, which I believe I should only need to do 15, I don't need to do 20, so that'll save a little bit of time. But I'll do the final exchange and hopefully, so I'm prepared to take a slight time loss with this. but oh my gosh, game, please. So yeah, so I'm not 100% because I know basically he doesn't work on weekends. Gots doesn't work on weekends, but I don't know whether he works. So he'll finish tomorrow. I don't know whether or not he'll work tomorrow, basically, or like I'll be able to order him to I'll be able to hire him to make my house, to get the house upgrade tomorrow. I don't think part of me thinks I won't be able to, and I don't think I should risk it, and I'll just do the exchange on Wednesday. But yeah, I'm actually also going to stop making 2 trips to, what's it called? To Mother Hill. I don't feel I need to. I'm going to save it, but I don't think I'm going to do the exploits, because even if it is done today, it's not even done today. Okay, that means I have to do it on a Wednesday, on the Wednesday, which is fine. Actually, no. Okay, so I'm not going to befriend Popuri for the next few days. I'm just going to sleep until Wednesday, and then Wednesday I'll do the final exploit, and that'll be a big day, because that'll be do the exploit, give Popuri some gifts, go to the supermarket, buy the blue feather, sell all my cows, or hopefully Wednesday isn't festival. Good. So yeah, sell all the cows, hire Gots to build to upgrade my house. And then yeah, and then if Popuri's on a red heart, then just as soon as my house has been upgraded, propose. If she isn't, then hopefully she'll only require 1 more day. That's fine. Okay. Yeah, storm slight setback, but that is still a-okay. Because I don't know whether I mentioned this. I think I would have mentioned it during this run. But basically the good days where you can do this, like the triple whammy of going to the supermarket, going to the ranch to sell your cows, and going to Gots, is Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. That's when none of those buildings are closed. So luckily, a storm on the Wednesday doesn't matter. Yeah, at least Popuri isn't dead. She didn't die in the storm. At least I didn't accept her little chicken thing, because then the chicken probably would have died a long time ago. So there's a possibility that Popuri will be on a red heart at the end of the day, and if she is, that's fine. If she isn't, that is also fine. It's just kind of, hopefully if she isn't, it'll only take like one more day. So I'm kind of hoping I get a red heart save, because then, okay, good. Because now I can do the, as long as I remember it in a few days' time, I can do the strat where I go straight to her house to propose. Because the past few, because any of the runs of this that have finished, I kind of forget that you can go straight to Popuri's house instead of waiting for her to appear at the spring. Also, I managed to go a whole run avoiding the first heart of the introduction heart event with Karen, so that's good. I also didn't hit any rival heart events. The only unnecessary cutscene I got was the horse cutscene, but I think that's a bit too difficult to avoid. Like, I think it's one of those things where you kind of have to avoid either one or another. So now I just have to sell these 15 cows, and hopefully that is enough money. If it isn't, that's fine. I can do another exchange tomorrow, and that's only a slight time loss. But I think it should be fine. The third dungeon, yeah, well, I'm assuming by dungeon, because you mentioned earlier, you said like the third full dungeon, so I'm assuming you've done things, like you've done the whole setup for it so that you've met Sol, and you've been to the Lagora settlement. If so, I think you are like at least second half of the game. Because I think I only beat that dungeon maybe like last night, and that's like after that it's pretty much, it feels like they're pretty much like, okay, that you're setting up for the last dungeon now. So yeah, so once you beat that dungeon, it kind of goes into a bit more of, obviously the story, and it kind of it sets up what I think is going to be the final dungeon. I might be wrong on it, but I'll be kind of like, it really does feel like the fourth dungeon will be the final one. If not, it'll be like it'll either be the fourth or there'll be a fifth one, and it'll be like the fourth one is kind of like, without trying to spoil anything, I guess a trial for like leading up to the fifth dungeon, where the fifth dungeon will be like, you know, evil place, wherever that'll be. So I've only got, I believe, 2 cows left now. Yeah, that was. I'm worried I may be like slightly off. No, I think I should be fine because the actual cost for it is 10,000, and then I believe the wood costs around 3,700. Not 3,000, it's 37,000. It's interesting because I've read a few, I was reading a few posts around the internet on people's general thoughts, and there were some interesting speculations as to like the purpose or the role of different characters. So like people speculating, like saying like they think someone is going to be the villain or someone else is going to be the villain or whatever. I mean, I even myself, like when I got to a certain point in the game, was kind of like had my own little guess as to who I thought, or as to where I thought it was going. Okay, so I've done everything now. So all I have to do is propose, and then I can get married. And in order to get proposed, all I have to do is wait for Gots to finish building my house, and then we shall be all good. Unless of course he's finished tomorrow, in which, because tomorrow is a Sunday, I'm going to skip that. Okay, good, no. Unless it's a festival, it may be a festival tomorrow. Okay, that's just done. It's going to be a festival, good. Okay, so I'm remembering to do the quick strat where I propose to her, waiting right outside her house. Definitely not creepy. So I proposed. It's going to take me about 1.5 minutes, probably only a minute now, for the wedding. And then it'll be a world record. There's no way, unless I purposefully throw it, there's no way I will lose world record pace here. We'll have a cheeky old look at how the splits are after the run. Like, I imagine for most, like, I don't know, probably, yeah, I probably would have, no, actually, I don't think I would have lost time maybe in Yellow Heart, but I don't think I would have, I didn't gold during any of these, like, past 3 or 4 splits. It's interesting how this was a bit of a YOLO run. I really didn't, like, during the intro I just kind of thought, you know what, I'm going to do things differently. and he's gone really well. But I think today, yeah, there we go. I even golded the marriage split. Woo! I could have done it better if I didn't fuck up that last little bit of movement. Well, not the last bit, if I didn't fuck up the first bit of movement. Because I did a slightly quicker proposal. So actually that is faster than the Friends of Mineral Town time for Popuri. So that clearly proves that Back to Nature is better than Friends of Mineral Town. But yeah, no, that's still really good. I could probably improve it in places, maybe somewhere. I don't know exactly where.